I'm going to show you how to start and how to access to your Webex meeting feature. You can just start by typing sign in Webex into your Google account if you don't want to remember what is the address. Then you're going to find this page. I advise you to use Chrome or Firefox because sometimes on Internet Explorer, the login experience is not very good. So you just go ahead with your email address, and then you're going to have your password to log in. So for us, we are on single sign-on, so we don't need to log, but you will have a question about your password. Then you're going to end on this page, which is your Webex information. So everybody has his own preferences, his own insight, his own meetings that you can see in this page. So this is the basic Webex meetings. So on the left, you are able to go to Webex Events. And when I click on Webex Events, I arrive on this page. Once you arrive here, on your left, you have actually the different feature and possibility on the events. So there is actually a lot of guide, a lot of help on Cisco Online. So if you go to new user reference, you just click, it's going to open for you some link directly with a lot of explanation on how to use Webex events. And it's really, you can find really a lot of help with those links. But we're going to go through together. You can attend an event if, for example, you have an event number and you want to join an event as a panelist, for example. You can schedule an event, so host an event. So all the features to schedule an event, your events that are already scheduled, emails, template, registration question, survey question, your recordings, and then you have more advanced option to create some programs. And again, a lot of help, a lot of resources. Let's come back to the different option, host an event. So prior to scheduling an event, I just want to show you the level of customization that you can do. In terms of email templates, you can have different email templates and you can customize your email template. For example, here we have a few set of email templates. Absentee follow-up, approved, attendee invitation. I'm sure you can see the whole list of this template. So these are all the automated emails that can be sent prior or after or during your events to help to facilitate the process. You don't have to send all those events, all those emails. You can select the one that matters for you and for your attendees, but this is the full list basically. So if, for example, I take approved, I can see 3 templates of approved events. And I can see some template plain text email as well. For some people who are not able to see the normal HTML template. If I click on one template, actually, I'm able to see the template and modify it. So, for example, your registration was approved. You can add, for example, your company details, even some logos, some image, anything that you want, you're able to update those templates. By default, you can update the text. So this is normal HTML. If you don't know, you can use some help from the HTML tool or ask for your marketing, who is usually familiar with this. Once your template is ready, you can do a preview and make sure that your button, everything is working properly. So this is the email templates. Then you have some registration question. So what you want is prior to the event is to have people to register, for example, to maybe control the access, control the person who can participate to this event, or simply capture some data from participants. So by default, the system has a list of questions, but you are able to add a new question. So for example, I create a customized question. Is this your first event with us? Yes or no? So I can do question with a text box answer. I can do question with checkbox answer, options button, drop down list. So I use the drop down list for this one. And you can create as many questions as you want. Then we have some survey question. So again, similar at the end of your event, if you want to send a survey, to ask for feedback, about your events, you can customize as much as you want. Finally, you have your recording. So you are able to save and store your recording of your events to then share it with the participants or keep it for internal usage. So I go back to schedule an event. As you can see, I can save some templates, or I can start with the Webex event default templates. So it all depends about what you want to do. But usually when you are organizing one event every month, you're going to see that you're going to start creating your old templates, and most of the things will not change actually. You're going to reuse the same kind of welcome message, the same kind of question or registration process. So you are able to save it as a template to go a lot faster when you create your event. There is a few things that will be asked during the scheduling of the event. So you can give a name of your event. If you have access to calendar, for example, all the participants, all the people you are in the same organization, you can decide to put it as public in your calendar and people can join easily from your calendar. To be honest, this is not a feature that we use often because most of the time we invite people who don't have access to our calendar. You can decide to delete from my meeting when the event is completed to avoid to have the event, if, for example, you don't know how long the event is open, to not have it open for too long, but to close the event when it's completed. You can decide if yes or no your event should have a registration process. So if, for example, you just want to give a link and people just click on the link and join the event, this is possible. If you want a registration where people have to basically go through a process of keying their email address and everything to get the event link, then you can just decide here. You can just enter the password. I suggest to use a simple password. Select a program. This is a bit advanced. I will not go in details today. And then you decide on the date of your events, the duration, the time zone for the participants when they're going to receive the invite. The reminder, yes, you want to send a reminder, for example, 10 minutes before the event starts, or things like this. Or 30 minutes or 1 hour is up to you. Then you have the option for the conference settings. So basically, you can give the option to people to call in with their phone, which is all the option with Webex Audio, but you can also use VoIP only, which is going to use only the internet if people are joining for a computer, or in 4G if they are joining, for example, for the mobile. So this is a choice. You can mute upon entry all participants to avoid that every time you have someone that's entered the event, there is some noise that disrupts, for example, the sound. And you can display global call-in numbers for people who want to join. For the organizer, you can put some tone, so a beep, an announcement name, or no tone every time someone is joining the event. If it's a large event, it's better to not have any noise so that you are not disrupted when you are starting to do your event, especially for latecomers. Finally, you have some option about adding a description, uploading, for example, the picture of yourself for today, or uploading the logos of your company. So start displaying your material. You're going to be able to ask participants for some verification prior to the event that their codec is working well. They will not have any problem in terms of audio. Then you can decide who can see all the list of attendees. So usually, if, for example, you are doing an event with your partner and they are actually competitors between us, you might not want them to see who are the other attendees of your events. So you're going to decide that only the host and the presenter or panelists are able to see the attendees, but the attendees can only see the list of hosts, presenter, panelists. You can select a survey. So if before you created a survey, like I show you just now on the survey question, you can just go and pick your template. So this one was one that I created. Rate us how many stars do we deserve for this event? Okay, this one is okay for me. I can use this one. You can use URL at the end of your event. If, for example, you want to redirect your participants on your website on a specific offers that you were promoting during your events, or simply on your corporate website. So this is possible. And now we're going to look at all the attendees and registration process. So basically, you have a different way to create an invitation list. Of course, you can add the people one by one, just add their full name, their email address, and some information. Or you can import a list of contacts. For example, from your CRM, you want to send the invite to, I don't know, 10,000 people. So you just need to use Excel format with either tab separation, each tab for each field, or to use a CSV with the comma separation. And you are able to import your list of participants and automatically send them an email to invite them to your events. So then they will have to go through the registration process, if you have a registration process, or they will directly receive the link and the detail of the event if there is no registration process. Again, you can define where you want to send them after the registration, define a maximum number of people to register to your events. Actually, at the moment, with the license that you have, you can host up to 1,000 participants. And there is another license to go up to 3,000 participants, which is the maximum for Webex events at the moment. You can decide some approval rules in how you want to do the approval of your participants and to do automated approval. You can customize with a password so that each participant have also specific links. Those are possible if, for example, you want to be very selective and make sure that the invitation is not shared by one of the person who have registered, we just send the link to other people. So this is possible to give individual login with individual password. So finally, you can create also invitation to your panelists. So your panelists, your presenters are the people who are going to speak, who are going to share during the event. So you can be the host and have, for example, 4 or 5 persons that are discussing and presenting the event. So those people will have the full features during the events, and they will have a special link to join the event as an organizer, basically. Finally, you have all the emails that you can accept. So you can decide to have your templates with your reminder, your follow-up emails that you can activate or not. So every time you click on it, you can see how the email looks like. And you can decide if yes, you want it or not, when do you want it, and edit this list, basically. So I'm just going to show you now an event that are organized, actually start at 7 p.m. in 4 minutes. It's perfect. So once you finalize your events and you confirm the details and you create it, you can always come back to it and do some modification, basically, all the time. So you can look at your registration. So for now, I have 1% succeed pending. I need to accept it. I can see people who are approved, rejected. So all of this you can see it from here. You can obviously delete your events if you create an event by mistake or you don't need it anymore, or you can edit your events and you go back to this page with all the details of your events. So for this one, I create a specific password, for example, Sentient88, just something simple for people to remember and to join. You can put whatever you want. For my event, I upload a specific content. So here I use some picture. You can also upload some content like presentation, things like this that people can download or can access before starting the event. So yes, basically these are the information. Okay. Once you update your events, you can approve people who are registered. You can send back invitation to your panelists, to your attendees. So up, you can just approve. And as a host, you will be able at any time to start your events. Try to start the event. So once you click on start, this pop-up will be opened, basically. You can decide to join from your computer, to call in, or to not connect to the audio, which I'm going to do to avoid some white noise sound for the moment. and you can start your events. So here is my events. Basically, it looks like a traditional WebEx meeting. So you have all the basic feature of meeting that you will have, like your chats, the list of participants, open the chat, and some advanced feature like the Q&A. Basically, you're going to have your list of panelists at the top and your list of attendees. Usually, you decide if only you, as the host, as a panelist, can see the attendees or not, what we discussed before. As a host, I can talk to only the presenter, or I can chat with only the panelists or the attendees. So you decide who you want to chat to, and then your message will be addressed to the different person, and you can see from Jonathan Munden to all panelists. And if I want to talk to the host, I can see from Jonathan to host privately, because I'm actually writing to myself, okay, good to start. Same for the Q&A. So the Q&A, you have some option to decide who can see the Q&A and who can see the answers. Just approve. I'm gonna approve Sassi. Okay, you should be able to log and join the events.
Yeah, yes.
So then in terms of features, so you have the different features like mute on entry, unmute all. You can decide again to not have microphone for the attendees, only the audio if you don't want them to be able to interact with voice and you only want to be in chat. Okay, so now Sassit is in. So by default here is allowed, but we can decide to allow him, to mute him, to make him panelist, or to expel him if he's not supposed to attend the meeting. So those are the kind of information that host and panelists will be able to do. I know that I have one attendee for the event, and when I open, I have my full list of attendees that is coming here. I can see some information if they have access to the sounds, if they are talking or things like this as well. So in terms of events, I can start my recording. I can create some welcome message. So again, you can personalize your message. And when any person is joining your event, they're going to receive this message. So you can give them some tips like, oh, do not hesitate to look at our Q&A or our chats to discuss with us, those kind of features. And yeah, I think that's pretty it. There is really a lot of content, a lot of feature. So it's difficult to showcase everything for the first time. Basically, you have also a lot of help, a lot of things online that you can use. You can do a dry run also of your events before starting it if you want to try the feature. The most important is usually to try the audio, to try the video, to check that you have a good bandwidth and good quality, and to probably upload your content, like your slide online, so that you don't need to share your screen. Again, I think there is really a lot of content that are quite well done by Cisco Online. So I wanted to share with you as well that if you want to go for some really more advanced training, and probably some are doing a lot better than us, Cisco have also some official online training that are actually free to join. So you just go on the site webex.com, then you go to Learn, you click on Online Classes, and then on Online Classes you will find some quick training of 30 minutes of different features. So you have WebEx Teams, WebEx Meetings, WebEx Events is also here. You can register. I know that some of you, the meeting today was not ideal in terms of time zones, so they have different hours, very early on the morning, very late for us in Singapore, so that anybody can join basically. And for example, for events, they split it into two training. One is overview, and that's basically what we did today together. Another one is scheduling with more details about how you can use the schedule, how you can use the different features like broadcast audio to block the sounds, the microphone, things like this. And the last one is conducting a WebEx event. So if you are a bit scared before doing the first event yourself and you want to watch another one conducting it, I invite you to try to follow this training. It's something that actually we cannot really do together fully because we are using WebEx for this training. Usually we do on-site training to present those kind of things. But Cisco is well equipped with video, with content for that. So really feel free to go to webex.com, look at Learn and different online training that you can have.